Hello, hello, and welcome to yet another stream. Sorry for my voice, I'm a bit sick. So there will be a lot of sniffing and coughing and weird noises throughout the stream, but hopefully everything will work out. Let me just get the chat up. Right, so what do we have here today? A RACEFLIGHT Revolt. This is version 3, and it's the second one I have, because the first one, when I plugged in a battery and USB, it just burned out. So I thought that I bought this from quadcopters.co.uk, and they were after I talked with RACEFLIGHT, quadcopters.co.uk were kind enough to send me a replacement after getting approved by RACEFLIGHT. So thank you, quadcopters.co.uk, amazing service. Definitely use them if you haven't before. Mr. Tom Smith, send me a prop full of blood. That means I can clone you now. I'm gonna make my own Tom Smith. Millions of them. Whatever. Anywho, what I thought, what better thing to test live than to connect a RACEFLIGHT. I haven't plugged it in. I did all the cabling, but that was done before. I connected another flight controller to the system. Everything is working perfectly, but I haven't connected this one. So you're about to see either something that will work or something that won't work. I have no idea. So first, before connecting anything, I'm gonna do this part I've done, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make sure with the multimeter that everything is working fine. Sexy voice. So I don't know, you should be able to, yeah, I think you should be able to hear that. So this is positive, and I'm gonna connect it to another positive for the, I don't know if you guys can see it, positive for the ESCs, right? Now I'm gonna check if there's any current being passed from the whatever current I supply to the ESCs, if anything is being passed on to the flight controller. Checking all the connections here. No. No. Now we're gonna check the ground. So ground should be common ground. That's with the battery and an ESC. And ground beeping on the ground. It's good. Beeping on the other ground from the signal for the ESC. Is that the ground as well? This is square. Yeah, ground. Which one was it? Ground for the ESC signal cable, ground for the CAC signal cable, and then one there is ground as well. Now, the only voltage that should go to the flight controller, you can see here, is from these cables here. So this connector, that connector, connects the signal cables from each of the ESCs into the flight controller, and then it has a red and a black that connects the 5 volts from the PDB into the flight controller. Yeah. So before connecting it, just gonna power it up with a battery. I have one here. So the flight controller at this point is not connected. Power on the battery. So the ESC tone once, but because it's not connected with any flight controller, it's not going to tone twice. And now I'm going to check the 5 volts coming from the PDB. I need to check it to DC. And it says 5.03. So that's as close to 5 volts as you can possibly get. Let me check again. 5 volts, 0.4, 5 volts, 0.7, 5 volts, 0.7, 5 volts, 0.7. So it's pretty consistent to 5 volts, 0.7. There's another 5 volts output here, 5 volts, 0.7. Right, so the 5 volts, 0.7 that's coming here is going to connect to the flight controller. Disconnect that. 5 volts 0.07, not 5.7 is what I meant to say. And the first was 5.03, and then the maximum was 5.07. So it's 5 volt. My God, I keep saying volts. 5 volts. So disconnect the battery. Connect this little pin to the flight controller. Make sure that it connected in the right way. Also, if you have any questions, not sure if anyone's online or not, but if you are, and if you have any questions, be sure to shout them out. Right, so that seems correct. I'm gonna have the flight control is actually inverted because I want the USB to be on the opposite side of where the power is, otherwise I wouldn't be able to get it. And now, for the moment of truth, we're gonna connect battery. Yeah. Here it goes. All the SC stoned, everything seems to be fine. No weird smoke, no weird anything. But that was fine also last time that I did it. What wasn't fine is when I connected it with the battery and the USB at the same time. So that's when it smoked. So let's go and configure it in RACEFLIGHT, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Yeah, so you should be able to see RACEFLIGHT now. I'm gonna plug in the USB to the flight controller. Lights up. Everything seems to be fine. It's installing the drivers. Loading failed. Make sure you have installed the latest version of RACEFLIGHT. That's fine. Oh, update firmware. See if he understands he needs to update the firmware. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. So update firmware and can read firmware. Okay, yes, fine. Update firmware. Tiny whoop. 6 point. Let's do the Quopa. So if you guys don't know what the difference between Revolt and Quopa, this is the version that allows you to, if you're upside down, it allows you to flip back up, like turtle mode. I think Quopa comes from Super Mario, you know, the little turtles that can flip back up. So 0.26 seems to be the latest one. Confirm. Downloading firmware. Preparing to flash. Do not disconnect the board. I won't disconnect the board. Now I'm using a completely different laptop than from the last time. I'm using a completely different USB cable from the last time. This is all new stuff. Pray to God this RACEFLIGHT piece of loving technology doesn't burn up like the last one. Firmware successfully flashed. Okay. Should load on RACEFLIGHT now. First time. Yes. Continue. What receiver do you have? I have a Crossfire. You can see it. The antenna's there. Next. Want to reverse? No, I don't want to run reverse ports. Go through steps 1 to 6. Okay. So far, all good. Nothing. Oh, nothing exploded just yet. Best to update in DFU mode. Yeah, I think with the latest update, as soon as you connect with the latest RACEFLIGHT loading software, as soon as you connect, it automatically goes online and checks for the latest version, and then updates the firmware. So just in case, we're gonna disconnect the flight controller. Just check one thing. It's a lovely day outside. Hopefully I can go out and test this if it doesn't burn up. Okay. So let's continue. So recap. So far, we've connected the RACEFLIGHT to the PDB. It's getting 5 volts. It also has a separate connection to the, if you can see there, to the Crossfire. So the only things connected to this flight controller is it's getting 5 volts, it's getting the signal from the motors, and it has a connection to the TBS crossfire. That's it. There's nothing else. You can pry it off from here. And you can see the only connections is those that I just mentioned. That and that for the crossfire. Hasn't exploded yet. This is good. And it's mounted on the grommet without any force or whatever. It's mounted on nylon standoffs. So goddamn it, if this doesn't work, I I give up. That's it, RACEFLIGHT. That's the last time I will use this. For real. I'll get a hammer and I'll F this up. Okay. What was I? Right. Let's connect back to RACEFLIGHT. So you should be able to see waiting for device now. Plug this in. Loading. Looks like your board has been set up. Yes, I've just set it up. Okay, doesn't matter. Next. Want to oops. No. Done. Right. So set up flight controller. Step 1. Launch wizard. Mostly for freestyle. Next. Do you want us to help smooth stick movements? Why not? Help me with my stick. Giggity. Next. Select the body size. 4 or 5 inch. Next. Place your quad flat. Next. Place your quad on its nose. I even do this so that the quad is perfectly level. I don't think it matters, but anywho. Place the quad on its nose. Next. Orientation setup success. Done. Detect receiver. Next step. Launch wizard. Turn on the radio. Make sure your radio is on. Let's turn on the radio. I have it here on the floor just because it's not interfering to anything. And the crossfire is already lit up. So that's good. Next, what to detect. Scanning. Scanning what? RX not found. Great. Maybe it's because it's not inverted, the signal. It needs to be inverted. So let's go here. RX micro. Output S bus. Not inverted. Okay. Next. Okay, so it detected crossfire. I'll have to do this back again because I guess I soldered the little option underneath the board that says TX whatever inverted or normal. So I guess I'll have to put a inverted on. But also, if you just run, if you just you can also change it with the crossfire on the remote. If you go to so you press and hold to get to the option menu. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Give me a second. There you go. So that little menu there, see if the camera focuses. Press and hold, then you go to the option that says RX micro, and then RX micro, and then you have the option S, inverted or PPM or S bus or whatever you want to use. So for this to work, I have to put on NI S bus, which is non-inverted S bus, I guess, and then it detected it. So we can go back to the set and continue. Automatic detection succeeded. Set up radio. Turn on the radio. Next. Move the sticks. Move the sticks in complete circles. Done. Next. Throttle to top. Yaw right. Pitch. Roll. Set, disarm position. Click next. Arm position. Click next. Done. Radio setup. Done. So now I guess we can turn off the radio. This is a little better. And we're gonna update DSCs. Launch wizard. So this is when it went horribly wrong. Let me just see if the stream is still live. Yeah, it's still good. I have removed the props and connected the battery. Click there. Now, fingers crossed, there's no smoke, please. Okay, no smoke this time. I've removed the props and connected the battery. Next. Power DSCs during the process. So yeah, I guess it's all gonna be good now. This is exactly the part where I had the issue before. Can't exactly remember if I had the battery connected beforehand, and when I went to connect the USB, that's when it burned out. I don't know why would it, but it seems to work, so I'm happy with that. ESC stone done, changed, if you could hear. So that means the ESCs have now been calibrated with the updated with a bit of with the RACEFLIGHT ESC firmware, which I think is the same thing, 16.67 or something like that. Not entirely sure. Finish. Click OK. And you can see here the strengths, beep, brake on stop, demag, reverse, normal, reversed. We can change that if we need to. Oh, actually, it actually changes it during the calibration here. Throttle looks fine. Mid, high, startup power 125. Medium. Oh, medium high. And temperature protection enabled. TX programming disabled. Perfect. So TX programming is disabled, so this step doesn't really matter. But let's do it anyways. I've removed the props, disconnected the battery. Boop. Next. Plug in the battery, wait for the ESCs. Plug the battery, no smoke, thank you. That's okay. Proper tunes, yes, I heard the proper tunes. Calibration is done. Fix motor direction and idle. Next. I've removed the props and connected the battery. Next. 5%. They're spinning really badly. And not all motors are spinning, that's fine. 7%. Better. Okay, I think I have a problem with this motor, but that's fine. We'll change that one later. One more spinning. Yes, let's say yes for the sake of it. Which motor is spinning now? Front left. Oh no, sorry. It's rear left. Next. Which motor is spinning now? It's the front left. Spinning correctly as well. And which motor is spinning now? Nothing is spinning, so I'm guessing it's the rear right that has a small issue with it. Next. That's all fine and dandy. Getting XC data. Click OK. Start motors. This is running fine. This one is running fine. This one is running wrong. No. This is what I don't like a lot. In this. Oh my God. Okay, fine. Why can't I just spin one motor and check if it's running fine or not? Why does it go like? It has to do like a cycle for me to see if the motors are running properly or not. But whatever. So that one was reversed. Start motors. Should be fine now. And I have another motor here. I can actually change it in a bit. Yes, fine. Spinning, 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 and then spinning. Let's say they are all spinning in the right direction. We don't know about this one, but we'll change it in a second. And now it's completed. No. Right. Close it. No smoke, thankfully. Just gonna disconnect the USB and really quickly change the motor that's faulty. Oopsie daisy. Live. Connect this. Just to make sure that everything is working correctly. So this one, wasn't it? Yeah. I wasn't sure if one of these motors was good or not, so I put it anyways, but it seems that it's not good. Hopefully it's the motor, not the SC, but we'll find that out soon. This one. Letting the iron heat up. 1, 2. Motor out, and there we go. So you're probably wondering, Carlos, that doesn't look like the back motors don't look the same. That's fine. RACEFLIGHT. I'm gonna tell you something. Beta Flight doesn't freaking care if I'm using all different motors, even all different KVs. It won't care. It'll fly properly. These are the same type spec motors, even though they're different brands, different, yeah, just different brands, and one might be a bit higher. No, actually, they seem the same size. but the KV is exactly the same. So I expect this to fly perfectly. If it doesn't, I have another of these motors coming anyways, so I'll just need to change one back one, but we'll see. Okay, what we can do is actually, might be the SC that's dead. Let's plug it back in. Go back to where's race flights. Have to loading, setup. Fix motor direction and idle. Connect to the battery. Yeah. No smoke. Now, why did it smoke with the other one? Why? %. Spinning motor 1. 2. Now, it's not spinning this one, so I'm guessing that there's a problem with the ESC. Yeah. So probably the motor's fine. It's the ESC that crapped out. Let's say yes. I don't care about this anymore, so let's just close it. And one motor decided to start spinning for no reason. So overall, I'm a bit happier that it didn't like exploded or set itself on fire. Now I just need to figure out if the problem is the SC or if something is wrong with the signal that goes onto the flight controller. I'm guessing the SC might be dead. Although it was fine before, so I don't know why would it. Let's see if there's a connection from the signal cable. Oh, God damn it. Okay, and then it would be well, I could just go around. Yeah. But it's connected all right. It's getting the signal there. So more likely than not, the problem is the ESC. Unfortunately, because that means I have to change an ESC. Right. Final thoughts. So far, so good. Even though one of the motors didn't function, I think I'm 90% sure that's due to the ESC that's malfunctioning. I'm gonna see if I have any other. What's this? 25 amp ESC somewhere. Oh no, 30 amp ESC. So yeah, I'll see if I have any 30 amp ESC laying around somewhere. Hopefully I do. change it for this, and see if it works. But for now, I'm happier than I was before. And after the DSC, I'll go and fly it and see how it works. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed this session. Unfortunately, nothing bursted into flames. Maybe next time. And this is me signing out, getting my meds. See you on the next live stream.